All right, good morning and welcome. This weekend, the Maendeleo Wanawake finally holds its national elections. The elections are generating considerable heat, more than previous elections, and we're wondering why. And in the studio this morning, we are joined by a broad panel of women leaders who are going to look at just the strides made by women in this country against the backdrop of the forthcoming Maendeleo Wanawake elections. And on my immediate left is Honorable Florence Mutua, the women MP, women representative of Busia County, the Secretary General, current Secretary General of Maendeleo Wanawake, Alice Kirambi, yes. And on the far end there, Mombingaro, very, very well-known politician, now a member of the East African Legislative Assembly. Mutegi, my co-panelists. Karibuni, ladies.
Thank you.
I must say that this is a very special panel because we hardly have such okay, let me not say dominance of women on assets like we have this morning. So this is a good precedent for the weekend coming. Let me ask the current Secretary General to just sort of outline why this year's elections, this coming elections, seem to be generating a lot of interest like previous ones. I don't know whether you agree with me first on that assertion, and why that is the case.
Yeah, a lot of women have an interest in Maendeleo Wanawake, looking at the past history of Maendeleo and the current history of Maendeleo, and the empowerment that the women of Kenya, the capacity building that has been entrusted in the women of Kenya. And Maendeleo being one of those women organizations that worked very hard to ensure that women have their rights, they have they address their issues effectively, demands their rights as women of Kenya, and in the new constitution, there are quite a number of gains. The affirmative action gains, the that percent and the 2 that percent at the that percent at the national level and the 2 that percent at the
people would say that the achievement of the 30% gains, as we would say, in the Constitution, were not the result of a lot of campaign by Maendeleo Wanawake, even though Maendeleo Wanawake has been at the center of the women movement or organization in this country. Would Maendeleo Wanawake boast to have been at the core of that achievement?
Yeah, it would boast. If you look at the history, where the Maendeleo is coming from, how the women were involved in political issues, how the women were also involved at the grassroots level, even during the Moi's administration.
Yes, that's when Maendeleo was at its top, during Moi's time. But the agitation for constitutional reform and to give women more representation and more visibility, Maendeleo did not seem to be on the front line. We had other organizations taking the lead, and a lot of civil society organizations, League of Women Voters and so forth, seem to have driven this agenda more. Is Maendeleo celebrating other people's achievement or its own work?
Not really. Maendeleo has worked with the other women organizations. And in championing the constitution making of this country, Maendeleo representation was also realized, and they also participated effectively well. And even for us to champion for the achievement of the constitution and the passage of the constitution, Maendeleo did a lot of civic education across the country. Asking, demanding for the women to come up and support the constitution. That's Maendeleo.
You are at it.
Maybe I've been a nominated councillor in Thika and mayor of Thika, very effective. Now a member of East African Legislative Assembly. What's your assessment about women achievement in this country, if you compare to maybe Scandinavian countries and Rwanda? You think you're making headway?
Thank you very much, and thank you for welcoming me into the studio. I want to pick from where Alice left and say that though the working of the new constitution, the women movement, the parent organization is Maendeleo Wanawake. In fact, I'm a life member. All the others that my brother David Makari is talking about are offshoots
Yes.
Of Maendeleo.
of Maendeleo and Wanawake. And I want to say we are moving well. And it's through that movement, most of the political women, be they ministers, be they civil servants, senior civil servants, have had at one time or the other passed through the Maendeleo ya Wanawake systems. I can say it without fear of any contradiction that they have a life certificate somewhere.
True.
I can tell you that. And therefore, including me, I'm a life member.
Yes.
And I may not be active. But the reason why those other organizations came in is because as Maendeleo grew over time, when I was a young girl, there was the patron, current patron, Jane Keano.
Yes.
She left a mark
Yes.
during her leadership.
Yeah.
That's when Maendeleo House got built,
Yeah.
and women networks really, women got empowered.
Yes.
Empowered in that they knew what to do. Then a few other chairpersons came.
Yeah.
But the other prominent one that came is Honorable, now Senator, Zipporah Kitonyi. And she also had a very positive mark. But that's when it was also married to Kanu.
Yes.
And kind of almost became a choir for allow me to say that, because I'm a politician.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of institutions were co-opted. by
Yeah, they
Kanu.
were co-opted.
Yes, yes.
But I love the way Honorable Zipporah Kitonyi made sure that though they looked like it's a political choir for women, women from the grassroots had opportunity to get into councils, to get into the political party, and their political voice was heard. And no wonder today she's celebrated that even after the new constitution, she came in and she was nominated back.
Right.
And some of us like me, I am a product of that.
Yeah.
Because it's then that they were looking for probably younger women then that could have a political voice.
Yes.
And those that were picked and have managed to stay on course, I have stayed there. I am not in the elections, but look at the leadership of the current incumbent,
Yes.
Rukia. She has held Maendeleo
Yeah.
at a time when probably a younger person who would have come with the kind of new leaders, younger people who are coming, Maendeleo would have gone to the dogs.
That is true.
But her motherly woman leadership qualities has held it together that now you've just said that they're scrabbling. It has never been like this.
Yes.
Credit goes to that
Yes.
Rukia.
Really?
Because she held it together. And she still
Against what
holding-
odds?
Against many odds.
Yes.
Which
Against
ones?
the Mombis, the one who would come and break it into pieces.
Yeah.
Take, you know, it's with that political.
But the thing is that has leadership of the Maendeleo has given the Maendeleo organization image of an organization for older women, not younger members. When she was here, in fact, that was an issue. Younger girls who want to be members of the organization are wondering, do I really belong to Maendeleo, or this is a league of older women? So
Now, that's-
over that duration, that
Yeah.
seems to have suffered that image for Maendeleo as well. Whereas she, by her motherly patronage and leadership, she preserved it. The younger ones might have bolted to other organizations to find better expression.
I will tell you, and I haven't even said hello to her since when I came.
Yes.
But I tell you, we the younger generation, I was once there.
Yes.
We are lacking patience. And I can tell you, it's driving many systems in this country, not just Maendeleo ya Wanawake to the dogs.
Yeah.
Because patience pays. And an organization like Maendeleo ya Wanawake must have, I can tell you this, it must have both old and young. Because the young ones must learn from somebody. Honorable Jane Keano is the patron.
Yeah.
Imagine if she just left and others came in and the young people come in and they do their thing.
Yes.
Maendeleo would not be there.
Okay, let me get to Mheshimiwa Florence Mutua, women rep for Busia County. There seems to be a consensus here that Maendeleo has been the nursery for grooming leaders. But what do you ascribe the new interest in this particular election? There seems to be, people are fighting for these seats. Yeah. I mean, the last elections, I never saw this combat for positions. Yeah. Now there were fracases, people were sponsored.
The fracas we used to see was that at the national level.
Yes.
Now there's nothing in the county.
Even at the county level.
Yeah.
So to what do you attribute this renewed interest?
Thank you so much for hosting us today. And what I can say, first and foremost, is that Maendeleo is a national membership NGO that holds, the purpose of Maendeleo is to nurture, unify, and economically empower women at the grassroots level so that they can be able to deal with the challenges that happen at the grassroots level. That is very important. Yeah. Another important thing is that Maendeleo as an organization has been there for the grassroots women all these years, despite maybe the information not trickling up to the other sectors. But people on the ground know Maendeleo has always been there. And Maendeleo has got very, very good structures. Yes. I can tell you for sure, apart from ODM, Maendeleo Wanawake is the next NGO, I mean any other organization that has good structures in the grassroots. Because it goes up from...
Why are you saying ODM?
No, I'm just comparing, you know,
what about
the structures.
Even Kanu
in terms of political parties, are you trying to say ODM is the most
it has got very good structures,
network
on this, in the...
Well, that, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Because you're a member of ODM?
I am a member of it. I'm a live member.
So we must take that with a pinch.
Please.
Obviously.
But Maendeleo itself as an organization, we need to respect that. It has got very good structures. Yes. It is very well managed from the ground up to the national level. That one you have to accept. The issue of what my honorable mentors here have raised, because I cannot compare myself to my honorable ladies here. They have very good experience. I learn a lot, especially from Mombi Ngaru. Anytime we have an issue, we have to talk to people like Mombi. We have to talk to people like our Secretary General. We need to get the information, the institutional memory. So this issue of when people, old people need to go away, we bring young people. Who is going to give us the institutional memory? So that's why we need, and that's why we always hold on to our mothers. Rukia might look old to you, but we need to hold on to institutional memory that we can, that will propel us forward. Yes. And Mumbingaro is very right in saying that most of the people who are in leadership have passed, even knocked at the door of Maendeleo. They needed to know what is this women leadership. If you have never knocked at the Maendeleo door, then I don't think in this country you started from the right
you know, I really sit here and I listen to all these glowing tributes being paid to Maendeleo. But when you look at people writing, they say, you know, Maendeleo is a dead organization. It used to be, since the new constitution, Maendeleo has no basis anymore because its duties have been devolved to other, you know, forms of representation in the mandatory 1/3 requirement in most of these institutions. So where is Mandeleo's role in the new constitutional dispensation, actually?
Let me finish before we go to the constitution. Another thing that has really created interest in the Maendeleo elections is the issue now that we, because of the affirmative seats, the women representative seats. People have used these seats to be able to, the women now are coming out and telling people, like me in my county, they told me, Mama, this Maendeleo thing, how can you help us?
Right.
Before that, there has always been this clique of people who do not want to release the information to the other grassroots people.
Right.
So what I've done in my county, I've ensured the grassroots women understand that this is our mother body and you need to participate in the elections so that you can be at some forum even when you're bringing development, we can use Maendeleo Wanawake structures to reach the grassroots women. And I went out and with other leaders in the county and we helped the women get the necessary documents that were required.
All right, Mheshimiwa. So the question is, why is there this heightened interest in these elections?
There is more awareness.
In a nutshell.
There is more awareness.
Maybe
More awareness.
Yes,
That's
yes.
really why
There is more awareness.
Is there anything at stake here? Perhaps that
I want
going
to-
into with the political relevance.
I want to approach it from a different angle.
Yes.
And this is one of the things I'm talking about. That though it was never heard, it was not as loud during the Rukia's time. She held it together.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, even the MCAs at county level,
Yeah.
the nominated and those that are elected,
Most of them are Maendeleo.
and all political parties, including mine, that is ODM,
Yes.
really use the Maendeleo ya Wanawake's networks for their elections,
Right.
for the national elections. I don't think there is a member of parliament in any constituency who does not understand the networks of Maendeleo ya Wanawake. And therefore,
Yeah.
like elections all the time,
Yes.
well, after 5 years, it becomes very relevant, because in the next elections, all of them want to put somebody who they can talk to. Let's be honest. I have traveled from Arusha. I am not a candidate from the grassroots now,
Yes.
but I want to know who is going to be at the national level that I can talk to, even
Right.
for my party.
Yes.
Exactly. So,
So-
there are political stakes in this
Are
election.
very high.
Right.
Are
Right.
very high.
All right.
Would you therefore say that maybe this is a contest in terms of Maendeleo between ODM and Jubilee?
No,
No, not at all.
It is
it
not
is not.
there is
no. It is.
No.
It is not
The
that.
agenda
political
But,
affiliation
yes,
within the Maendeleo.
it's not.
It is-
Okay, let me
there's
say
nothing about-
politicization of. There's no politicization, to use that word.
I don't
of the
think
Maendeleo,
so.
organization.
Yeah, I don't think so.
There's no contest between the political parties seeking to have their person at the top of
I
that
don't
organization.
think so. But all I know, even those that are not here,
Yes.
the members of parliament. So you've just talked about Nairobi County. There is Rachel Chebesh, and there is
Sonko.
the,
Yeah, they were reporting this in the newspapers
Yes.
today.
The idea is that come next elections, I want to own the networks
Of course.
that
the networks.
are being created by
Yes.
Maendeleo ya Wanawake
Yeah.
across the
So
47
politicians and
counties.
political parties are investing for future
They have
in this
always
election.
invested.
Now let me come to the candidates. of course, you are not involved in
Yeah.
any way in the elections. You're not running. But Alice Kirambi, you are the Secretary General
Yes.
current.
Yeah.
You're defending that
I'm
seat.
defending my seat.
All right. Are you being financed by a political party?
Yeah.
Seeing as
Before
there's a
I
lot
could
of
respond
interest.
to that,
Yes.
I want to appreciate the women leaders here
Yes.
to have appreciated the role of Maendeleo Wanawake in society and respecting the structures that have been put in place. At the same time, I want also to agree with the both honorables that Rukia Subu has really held Maendeleo Wanawake. And I want to say, since her coming in 2007 December, or in 2006 December, in 2007,
Yes.
we had a move to approach the head of state, Kibaki,
Yes.
to come up with a way how women were going to participate in committees from the grassroots level to the national level, and they were incorporated. A decree was passed that all the Maendeleo ya Wanawake officials from the constituency level to the national level will be incorporated in those committees that were being formed. The constituencies, the HIV constituency fund, the peace, where Maendeleo ya Wanawake women became the chairman of all, that time was the districts, all
Yes.
the districts across the country. And at the national level, they were incorporated in other bodies to serve respectively as Maendeleo ya Wanawake.
Right.
And we appreciate the role of Rukia because she's not loud.
Now, I'm going to stop you from campaigning for Rukia here. In fact, everybody seems to be, you know, applauding Rukia, suppose, role. She's, of course, defending her seat.
Yeah.
But, okay, let me act the devil's advocate. For those who may want change at Maendeleo,
Yeah.
especially in respect of the generational transition that people are looking forward.
Yeah.
Every institution,
In fact,
political
if
party
Rukia
are
has been
looking
in
at-
office since 2007,
Yeah.
Yeah.
why does she want it to
That
go?
is a good...
She's already defending a
But
second
2007
term.
and this
That
many.
is 7 years
Yeah. Why
in
would you-
You can
office.
go for 2 terms.
What is it
You
that
want
she hasn't
somebody to
done?
run for
Yeah.
14 years, to run
2
an
terms.
organization 14 years.
2 terms. Because she's only defending her final term. And that is why we are saying, like, that is why even me as the General Secretary of
Yes.
Maendeleo, I'm defending my 2nd term.
Right.
And there is a question you asked me, whether have been sponsored.
Yes.
I want to tell you,
What is your
none
political
of,
affiliation?
none of the political parties has sponsored me. Neither have I even sought their support. Because
What is your political affiliation?
in Maendeleo, that does not apply.
It doesn't happen. Okay.
That does not apply.
Okay.
And if there are those who have been going to politicians to seek for their
But
support, you can't stop
an
them.
election, even Maendeleo election, is expensive.
Yeah, it is.
So you must be enjoying the support of Mumbi or Florence here.
Now they are
Or
here.
who are your supporters?
Now they are here. If they can support us,
Yeah.
women who are now standing at the national level,
Right.
they are free to do so.
Okay.
But I cannot.
All right. Now, talking as Secretary General of the organization holding elections this weekend, how are the preparations? Is everything on course? Are we going to see elections held or another deferment of those elections?
The elections, according to what I believe in, they're taking place. Because we have gone through some challenges within the organization.
Right.
And the court ruling was Maendeleo hold elections within 90 days.
Right.
So what we did, we had to put in a system of managing the elections of Maendeleo.
Yes.
We came up with a very independent electoral board.
Chaired by the patron.
Of course, the patron is one of the members. The board themselves chose a chair.
Right.
That is Kevina, who is the executive director of the NGO Council.
Right.
But Jane Kiano, of course, being
He's
the
a member
patron,
of that board. Yeah.
has a lot of memory to advise the board
Okay.
in terms of
Okay. So the elections are on.
the elections are
But
on.
before we get out of that subject, why did you have to wait for the court to order elections to be held?
Yeah, that is a question quite a number of people have asked. There were challenges. You saw ladies on TV talking about so many issues. And yet, we all knew why there was a delay.
Which
What
was?
was
The
the
delay was in 2012. In 2011, there was an AGM that recommended the postponement of an election because of the
National General
the
Election.
national
The country's
general
general election.
election.
Yeah.
And in the process, we said the election will take place in 2013. While that was being planned, of course, you said the interest.
Yes.
And everyone's feeling, if I use the shortcut, then I'll get to the top of Maendeleo and Wanawake.
Yes.
That is why some of us said, no, we cannot accept. We must use the right procedure to have an election held.
Right. Okay. So it seems like all of you incumbent current
Yeah.
officers are defending your seats.
Yeah.
No one is vacating. No one is tired of office.
Yeah, we are only defending our sister for the second term.
Okay. All right. Wish you the best as we go into Saturday. I'm sure.
I don't know why the election. Can you tell us briefly why the election going to take place and what time?
The election is, we have proposed Kasarani, and on the 12th, this coming Saturday, is when elections of Maendeleo have been scheduled. The grassroots elections have taken place.
Which are most chaotic in many countries.
We had because of the interest. The chaotic situation is normal.
Right.
When people have an interest in serving an organization, they will scramble
A lot
for
of interest,
positions.
yes.
So they are scrambling for leadership within Maendeleo and Wanawake.
Okay.
Maybe I know if the two of you can answer this question about women leadership and women in representatives. The MCAs, we understand, those who are elected, nominated, so that they can have 1/3 representation. They have problems. They don't vote. They have no say. They're just bodies there. And at one time, I understand if they are not even getting allowances. In the Senate, the same. They're nominated senators, they can't vote. Then what's the point of having them there? Just to get our salary, get our taxpayers' money. Can't vote, can't say. Who wants to answer that?
Yes, Florence, who is
What I can say about
square at the center of it. Yes.
the issue of our nominated members of the County Assembly and the senators is sincerely just discriminatory. Because when you are even nominated, you're supposed to enjoy the benefits, just like any other member of parliament or any other senator. So I think the Gender Commission has taken up this issue, and they are trying to find a way of how this, the nominated members of parliament, the senators and the MCAs can be able to even have a voice. Because even in some of the county assemblies, these ladies are not even allowed to speak. When they stand up to speak, they're told, sit down, you're just nominated. So we really need to look at this issue of our nominated MCAs and the senators so that we can all move together at the same pace. And
yeah, indeed, is it just a question of numbers, populating the positions, organizations, institutions, or is this a manifestation of actual development, movement forward for women, the women, the gender?
What I can say to that is one issue is this that we all need to understand, is that when you elect one woman, you are benefiting her as an individual. But when we have more women in leadership, we are developing the society. So we need more women numbers. Even as we add the numbers, we can look at the issue of the quality as we move.
Yeah.
But we need the numbers first.
Yeah.
Because if now I were to ask you right now, do
Yes.
all the men in the assemblies and the parliament,
Yes.
if we start looking at quality,
Yes.
how many will you say these are quality? And so we need the numbers just the way men have numbers.
Yes.
We also need to have women numbers in parliament.
Yes.
Then we can now start talking of issues of we need quality.
Yeah, but what would be your assessment of the performance of women leaders? I mean, we've put in so many. The 1/3 has brought in a lot of women. Mutegi there is saying most of them are just, you know, sitting there, numbers, filling numbers, body count, but the actual contribution is not being felt. Mumbi, you've been in it, you've fought for a long time.
I want to pick it from there. And I want to say I am one of those that started with nominations.
Yes.
I was nominated as
In
a
fact,
councillor.
you have never been elected anyway.
Yes, I have been elected.
You are,
I am elected in Iyala.
Yeah.
oh, you are elected.
I am elected.
No, I
Okay.
think what he means is the popular
At the,
vote,
at the
not
grassroots.
Popular vote
election
at the
in
grassroots.
parliament.
I will
Yeah.
tell you, I'm
Yes.
not, okay, let me start from, I was talking about nominations.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And my getting into the political field was through nomination.
Nomination, yeah.
As a councillor in the Thika Municipal Council.
Right.
And I ended up as the mayor of that council.
Thika municipality, yes.
I think because we women have walked a very difficult path. And now that the 1/3 number of women are allowed into the council, out of that 1/3, there will be a Mombingaru, there will be a Zipora Kitonyi, there will be many others that have, most of us started with nominations, including the patron.
Yes, that's true.
And it's from there that women are capacitated
Yes.
to grow into the other level. I'm an example, Mutegi.
Yeah.
And therefore, it's, you know, we are just starting. And out of that, they have not probably have had the confidence.
Yes.
Give them time. Give them a level playing ground. And a bit of them will be picked from there.
Yes.
And let it be that you are not going to be nominated all over.
Yes.
First term, second term, you are still on nomination. I think the idea is to make it a ground,
Transition.
Yes.
you know, to capacitate,
Yes.
to expose them, so that they become better. But I have an issue with the way women are being picked on. I can tell you, I'm not a member of the National Assembly, but I know there are even elected members, leave alone nominated, who've never uttered a word. But you don't pick on them. It's very unfortunate. So I know they need capacity. I know they are working from a field that they are not used to.
There is also the proposal that you know, our representation is too much. We are overrepresented in this country. You know, even for democracy, we are choking with representation. We have this representation, women representation, and so on. And Ms. Mutua, the suggestion has been put that there should be an amendment to actually remove women representatives of counties in the national, national.
Allow me to speak on that. And I am speaking.
Yes.
And I call it a very sad thing because I have seen women elected members talking about it. They said it even during our time. Yeah. And it's unfortunate. I want to remind them that this tyranny of numbers, let me just put you back kidogo. How many elected women members of parliament have we had in the last 20 years? The maximum was 21. 21.
Yes.
Today, you're about 80-something.
86.
86. And we wouldn't have had that number.
86 elected MPs.
No.
Are, total number.
Total number.
Including
Yeah.
But 47 of them are elected women.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have gotten that number if there were no women seats. And I want to urge my colleagues, the fact that Mombi fought it, she's a tough girl on the ground, and she can get elected. Let us have those elected women representation. And allow me to get this example from the community. As we speak here, Rwanda is is one country that has beaten even the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And they started from where we are now. And in the whole of East Africa, Kenya is the only country that does not meet the 1/3 requirement. And it is because we are fighting that affirmative action by picking on things that are really not important.
It is a way in which affirmative action. Yes, you are to
I
actually
just wanted
add
to add
something.
the issue of women being picked on. That they're just there, they're doing nothing. It's like people are just using taxpayers' money.
Yes.
Devolution is a new baby, which everybody is grappling with. We are all going through teething problems, even the governors. Governors are being impeached left, right. Is it because they are better than the women? No. But the women are really being looked at under a microscope, unlike the men. Women are giving it the best. And that's why we even need organizations like Maendeleo, and that's why we want to fight for Maendeleo to stand. So that it can capacity build our women at the grassroots, who for the first time have gone to an assembly. They need to be capacity built. They need to be taken through the process of standing orders. They need to understand these things. It's been 1 year down the line. So we need to be fair to the women. We give them time. We see. If maybe in the next 2 to 3 years they are doing nothing, then that time we can speak. But now, it's too soon to criticize our women. We need to give them time. If you criticize a woman in the county, criticize the governor too, because they're also having challenges in the government.
The problem
they're
is
having
that,
problems left, right, and center.
Okay.
So we need to look at
Let me ask
the
you,
male MCAs, the governor, and everybody
Ms.
around.
Mutua, let me ask you this. We have women representatives. People keep asking, what is the JD? What is the work of the woman representative?
The role
one of them. That's why people are saying, remove these people, they're just filling up numbers. In fact, you have also brought yourself to the fore by saying, give us some funds, because we need funds to do our work.
Now, the role of the women representative is very simple. You don't even need to have a written JD. It's in the Constitution. Our work is just like any other member of parliament. Our work is to oversight, legislate, and represent. That is the written JD. But there is an unwritten JD out there by our constituents that say, Mama Florence, I don't know what representation is. I want clean water in my house. I want to have electricity, and I want to have my children going to school. And that is why, after we were happily sworn, not knowing that we have no money, we started picketing and going left, right, and center to talk to and plead with the president to give us some funding. Because I can tell you for sure that people have an apathy of men leadership. they had a lot of hope in this seat of the women representatives.
Yes.
And that's why if you look at across the country, women reps really got a lot of votes. Some of them even got more votes than the governor because they had a lot of hope in the women leadership.
Yeah.
We will not fail our people in Kenya. That's why we went to the president. At least this time he's been able to give us some funding, which is very little. Because sincerely, if I tell you now I have 7 million in a constituency like Teso, what can 7 million do in a constituency? But we still appreciate the little that we have. We will move around with it, and we will be able even to do more.
Okay. Isn't there a conflict in the representation before we move out of that? Just, illuminating the subject further. I mean, there's a woman rep. There is a senator. I mean, those are the two people, and the governor. Those are the people who represent counties at that level. How do you work, with the senator? I mean, the senator is representing the county. The woman rep is representing the country. Is your representation, as is in the public domain, about women? That is the issue.
No, no, no. My role, I represent everybody. I don't represent women only. But the name that is in the constitution,
women representative,
says women's representative.
Yes.
Okay. But Honorable Speaker said that we should add the word county. Okay, so that people can understand we represent everybody in the county. Yeah. That is why.
Not just the women.
Not just the women. In fact, it's not the women who voted me. I got a lot of votes from men and the youth.
In fact, that is the problem, because we elected a woman representative. How can she represent women alone? She was voted for also by men.
We represent
all these issues.
That's why I said we are just like any other member of parliament.
Yes.
We do the 3 roles, and then we have the unwritten role of ensuring we assist our people on the ground to improve their livelihoods.
Maybe before I just get back to you, is there anything that you think needs to be done, therefore, to secure the role of a woman representative, given the challenges you're facing going forward? I mean, because people are saying take them out. You're saying no, we're useful. What needs to be done in legislative terms or in provisions such as funding to enable women reps to do their work and actually justify their continuing to exist?
Actually, let me say here on TV that we really appreciate the support that CS Anne Waiguru has given us as women, because she's been there for us. We've been camping in her office for her to understand our role. And I think she's with us now, and we are moving. She's going to take us through all the structures that we need to ensure that we'll get the funding that is required. Because right now she's already looking at the funding we are getting and how it is going to trickle down to the ground. That for us is key. This issue of scrapping the women representatives positions is neither here nor there. Honorable Mumbi has already told you, give these people time, let them learn with the others, and so that they can be judged equally. We need an equal, we need to be judged equally.
Yes.
And if I can say here for sure, if the women positions are scrapped, the 47,
yes,
come 2017, we will have a lot of more women vying for constituency seats so that they can be able to go back to parliament and serve their people.
Right.
Yeah.
Which would be a good thing, right? Competition.
Competition is good.
Yes.
Yes, I really have listened to Honorable Florence in terms of the representation of the women in parliament. And what I have observed is that a number of the women reps seem not to have the confidence in the position that they have elected for. One, they also need to work with their governors, with the senators. The women rep, the governor, the senator must work together to identify the priorities for the county. And when they go to parliament, they also need to defend their position in terms of also, even when you make policies in parliament, let the women participation be felt.
Can you tell us what Maendeleo did in terms of enabling women to get Women Development Fund? Maendeleo as an institution, what role did they play to help women access that fund?
Yeah, that is what we are looking forward. When the new election of Maendeleo and Wanawake.
No, the Women Development Fund as well.
No, I'm agreeing.
Yes.
With the new leadership that is going to come in place, we are now looking towards how do we partner, even with the government, devolution, and with the women reps and other members of parliament to ensure that the funds that have been set aside, Maendeleo and Wanawake should be able to get involved because of the structures Maendeleo has.
But you were there as Secretary General.
Yes, I am
and
there.
The fund was given by the government.
We have
as an institution,
yes,
I would like you to tell us how you did assist women to have access to that money.
No, what we did as women was just to give the capacity building trainings, to let them know that there are these funds. We have the women funds. We now have Owezo. We have written a proposal to devolution to access funds for capacity building, to help women access these funds. And we are waiting to see how the Anne Waruguru's office is going to respond to that. And we are looking forward, and we hope we are going to work together. And that is why we say, as a government, we want to partner with the government as well. When there are those resources for women, they should also see that Maendeleo ya Wanawake has the capacity and the structures to be able to access those resources and help the women build their economic base.
Okay. We're just about to wind up. Mumbi, you've been listening very, quietly. Be the judge. Elections have gone on. A lot of complaints from a lot of the branches. In fact, the message is coming in here about Kitale, it was chaos. Machakos, it was chaos. It looks like there's a shortage of democracy in these elections. Are we going to generate good leadership? Looking in from outside.
Allow me to say it is normal. In party elections, in general elections,
It's normal.
The men in black are always there.
In blue or green or whatever. Those activities are normal.
Yes.
It's competition. But I can also say it's the tragedy that such things have come into the women movement.
Yes.
I still think with an elections board, but I think this is the first time that Maendeleo ya Wanawake has had a structured elections board.
Yeah.
And I had tea with the chair of the elections board, and I told her it's not easy. I have been a member of the party's elections board, and I know managing elections is not a mean thing. But I think from this activity, I wish them luck. And I hope, I'm not talking about 100%, but if they get 60%, for me it is an A.
Yeah.
I can tell you that without fear. It's an A. Because from that 60%, they will be able to influence the 40% to move it to 80.
Yes.
And from that, we are going to pick leadership that will affect the women. Allow me to say this. Partnering with all government institutions, development partners for Maendeleo ya Wanawake. If Maendeleo ya Wanawake would make capacity building a big agenda of the new officials,
Yes.
it's good. Makere, you'll not believe it. I've been a politician from the smallest level to a national level.
Yes.
But my first semester in the East African Legislative Assembly, I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect. So I also expect that maybe the MCAs, the new women reps who came in, are also going through what I went through.
Right.
And through KEWOPA, I think you also have KEWOPA here. Through those organizations, let's admit what we have gone through as women and use it to allow the others to come. And we help them out. And I'm telling you, we are going to get a very good crop of women leaders from the 60% that I'm calling an A.
Okay. All right. We have to conclude. Say something. But about also as you conclude, because our time is up. About this generation transition, I mean, really, Maendeleo ya Wanawake has to capture the imagination of the younger people. Okay. We cannot just, applaud and those who have been there. There has to be a transition, right?
Let me say that sincerely, I'm not campaigning for anybody.
Right.
But me, at my age right now, I need a mentor.
Yeah.
That one, I have to say. I
Yes.
will need a mentor.
Thank you.
So I believe the other people who might want to vote for whoever they
How
want
can
to
you
vote.
need a mentor when you're already a member of parliament?
Yes.
Everybody
It's
needs
not
a mentor
that.
in all
A
their way
member
in
of
their life. I'm
parliament.
sure
You
also
will
have
be
all
a role
levels.
model for other
I
people.
am a
You
role
have
model
already
for others.
You have arrived.
I'm not arrived.
Why?
I will
She
need
has not
mentors.
arrived
I'm also
yet.
a mentor. So it goes back all the way.
Right.
So what I wanted to say about the election is this. We have to give a thumbs up to the chair lady of
Yeah.
the elections board for Maendeleo.
Yes.
She has given it her best. But what I'd like to appeal to
She's
her
a young
also
woman.
is that let her look at the complaints that have come.
Yeah.
There are very many genuine complaints, like there are areas that there were no elections.
Yeah.
People already had a predetermined list, and the administration people there were also very rude to the women.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, people has to speak for the voiceless. So
Yeah.
I'm going to fight and speak for the voiceless.
Yes.
And I will want to appeal to the chair lady to look at all the complaints that came
Yeah.
from the country, because we've been talking to each other counties.
Yes.
The problems have also almost been similar. So if she can look at the problems that came to her table, and even maybe order re-elections on those key places that had problems.
Yes.
That way, we will also be
That is
happy
true.
and say that Maendeleo is really trying to be democratic.
Yes.
All right.
But if the process continues the way it is with all the complaints, with no action being taken,
Yes.
it will be bad.
Yeah.
All right.
Another key issue that I can say as I'm closing is about the issue of public officers not being able to
To stand.
to vie. So the chair lady should also ensure that no public officer, they should vet and ensure that public officers do not come and trod on our grassroots women.
Yes.
They should stay with their roles and let our women also grow. Thank you.
Are there that you know?
I think we have to.
Do you know any?
No, I don't know.
You
any.
don't know any?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I think we have. I want to thank you, Alice Kirami, the Secretary General of Maendeleo Wanawake, running for the same seat to defend it at the Saturday elections.
Yes.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Mheshimiwa Mumingaru from the East Africa Legislative Assembly. A role model, you've come, you said from down there, nominated,
Yeah.
now you're somewhere. Next time I'll be asking you what are you going for? And and Florence Mutua, the county women rep for Busia County, for this morning's discussion on the state of women leadership and the forthcoming elections in Maendeleo Wanawake this Saturday. Wish them peaceful elections. We hope there will be no women in black.
They will be there.
Thank you very much for watching.